Nikki Hiltz came out as transgender, but they refused to stop running. They refused to stop winning. On March 1st, 2026, Nikki proved the doubters and haters wrong. They won their 7th consecutive national title in the 1500 meters, sweeping every indoor and outdoor championship since 2023. Nikki won by making a devastating kick with 40 meters to go. In 2021, Nikki Hiltz came out on International Transgender Day of Visibility. It was March 31st, Hiltz posted on social media a powerful statement. "Hi, I'm Nikki and I'm transgender. That means I don't identify with the gender I was assigned at birth. The word I use currently to describe my gender is non-binary. The best way I can explain my gender is as fluid." It was complete honesty. The sports world listened carefully. Some supported, some criticized. The noise was loud, but Hiltz didn't care about the noise. They cared about running. They cared about being honest. Hiltz is from Aptos, California, a beautiful coastal town, a small beach town north of Santa Cruz. At Aptos High School, they won 6 CIF titles. In college at Oregon, then Arkansas, they were outstanding. But turning professional was when things got serious. In 2023, Hiltz won their first U.S. national title in the 1500 meters indoors. That victory started a historic streak. The very next year, 2024, Hiltz won again. Indoor title, then outdoor title. And it kept going. Win after win, title after title. At the 2024 World Indoor Championships in Glasgow, Hiltz captured a silver medal. One of the greatest middle-distance runners in America competing at the world level while being open about their identity. Hiltz didn't hide. Hiltz didn't shrink. Then came the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Hiltz made the team. They competed against the best. They finished 7th in the 1500-meter final in 3:56.38. It was respectable. But for someone of Hiltz's caliber, it felt like an unfulfilled dream. But Hiltz knows how to use disappointment strategically. They know how to convert sadness and heartbreak into fuel. They know how to take pain and redirect it productively into the track. That's what makes them special. That's what makes them impossible to beat. The story of Nikki Hiltz's winning streak is about an athlete learning complete self-trust. After 2023, after that first national title, Hiltz realized they could win anytime they wanted. They could beat anybody in America. All they had to do was believe, and that belief became unshakable. The 2024 indoor title was the second. The 2024 outdoor title was the third. Then, 2025. Hiltz won the indoor title again. Then, the outdoor title again. That made 5 straight national championships across both seasons. In the modern professional era, Hiltz has achieved unprecedented dominance, sweeping the 1500 meters across every surface for 3 consecutive years. A record built on consistency and mental toughness. And they didn't stop. In January 2025, Hiltz also won the U.S. Indoor 3,000-meter title. That gave them additional hardware and prestige, additional proof of their versatility across distances, additional statement that they weren't just a one-event champion or specialist. And in 2026, Hiltz won the Wanamaker Mile at the Millrose Games in New York on February 1st. That was 4:19.64, a new indoor personal record for the mile, running world-leading times. 1 month later, they came back to New York. They came back to Staten Island. They came back to the Nationals. 7 consecutive national 1500-meter titles. 4 indoor, 3 outdoor. An unprecedented streak of dominance that stands alone in American distance running history. Not just winning. Hiltz dismantled fields by sitting patiently in the pack, studying every move, waiting for the exact millisecond to strike. That's Hiltz's trademark. That tactical intelligence, the ability to outmaneuver the entire field by knowing when to move and when to wait. Winning when they had targets on their back. Winning when people were studying their tactics. Winning when everyone knew exactly what Hiltz was going to do and still couldn't stop them. That's the definition of elite. That's the definition of greatness. Hiltz is 31 years old now. In most distance running careers, 31 is the beginning of decline and slowdown. Most distance runners start to fade at this age. Their legs get tired. Their body doesn't recover as fast. The young athletes come up and push them aside. But Nikki Hiltz, they're running faster than ever. They're winning bigger races. They're competing at world championships. They're proving that age is just a number when you have the heart to compete at the highest level, when you have the mental strength, when you have the will to keep winning. The women's 1,500-meter final at the 2026 USATF Indoor Championships on Staten Island was a crowning moment for Hiltz. They were the favorite, the defending champion, the best American in this event by a wide margin. But challengers lurked everywhere. Gracie Morris was hungry and dangerous. Lindsey Butler made a shocking tactical surge. The field was tight, very tight. The race started slow. That's indoor track and field. The pace builds gradually. The early laps are tempo. Gracie Morris was leading through the first 800 meters in 2:23.12. The race was methodical, tactical, not explosive. But Lindsey Butler had other ideas. With just over 1,200 meters done, Butler made a surge. She took the lead. She looked positioned to steal the race. She looked like she was going to pull off an upset. For the first time in years, someone was actually threatening Hiltz. Someone was making them work hard. Someone was actually forcing Hiltz to respond and dig deeper. And that's when Hiltz remembered who they were. The bell rang. The final lap began. Butler was still leading. Morris was right there. Hiltz was sitting in third, just stalking, just waiting, just being patient, reading the race, waiting for the right moment. With 40 meters to go, Hiltz unleashed a devastating kick. They went around both of them with a closing speed that nobody else in the field had. They went to the front. They put their foot down. They showed the world that even at 31, even with 7 titles already, even with 0 left to prove, they still possessed gears and closing speed nobody else could match. Hiltz ran the final 400 meters in 59.23 seconds. In an indoor 1,500-meter race, that's the final 2 laps. The time was 4:11.34. Gracie Morris came second in 4:11.39, just 0.05 of a second behind. Lindsey Butler was third in 4:11.52. Sinclair Johnson was fourth in 4:11.59. The top 4 were separated by less than 0.3 of a second. It was close. It was tight. But Hiltz was still the best. After the race, Hiltz spoke to media. It's cool to see someone I've never seen make a move like that, do it in a national final. It makes it more exciting and it's good to get more fire under me. Nobody's gonna give it to me. I've got to work for it. That's the mindset of a champion. This race sent a powerful message to the entire sport. At 31 years old, Nikki Hiltz is not slowing down. They are not giving up. 7 consecutive national 1,500-meter titles. An empire. A dynasty built on consistency and excellence. Something unseen in American distance running. Most athletes win 2 or 3 titles in their career. Hiltz has won 7. And they show no signs of stopping. The 2026 World Indoor Championships come March 20th through 22nd in Torun, Poland, at Arena Torun. Hiltz will be there. They've qualified. Based on their 2026 form, they'll be a medal contender. They earned silver at the 2024 World Indoors in Glasgow. They have unfinished business. But beyond medals and records, there's something deeper here. Nikki Hiltz is openly transgender and non-binary, competing at the highest level of professional distance running. They came out during one of sport's most contentious cultural moments, and they didn't just survive. They thrived. They dominated. They became one of America's best distance runners. That's a powerful statement, not just in track and field, but in sports and culture. Hiltz proved you don't have to hide who you are to be great. You can be authentic and be a champion. You can be different and be the best. You can live your truth and win at the highest level.